Welcome in, Carl Banks. Carl, we haven't talked to you since the Giants last played on Thursday night. What was your, I know the score was lopsided, and I understand what the Niners are talent-wise, but I felt more positive coming out of that game than negative, even with the score being what it was. What was your takeaway from that Giants performance on Thursday night?
Well, my first reactive thought was that were embarrassing the way they tackled, and I still feel that way. But with that said, there were many opportunities in the game for them to hang around and try to take that game, and they just didn't take advantage. They had their hands on three possible interceptions, and they weren't very difficult, and they didn't have those. So they had their chances. I think their game plan was good. Obviously, they're going to be challenged with their offensive line, but defensively, they've got to be better. A better tackling defense, because some of the third downs that they were giving up was not great. And then the other thing, too, is I thought they were bullied at times. I thought they were cheap shot. I know they were cheap shotted on a few occasions, but that's 49ers football. And you gotta know what you're coming into, because you can see it on film. That's the way the 49ers like to play.
Well, you know it coming in. Obviously, I'm sure it was stressed all week leading up to the game, or a couple of days, obviously. Quick turnaround, staying out west. I get it was tough conditions. But to me, if we're going to sit here and say that Brian Daboll is a great coach, and I think he's got a real ability to be that, we also have to point out that a lack of tackling or a lack of toughness or a lack of urgency, doesn't that have to, on some level, correlate to the coach? He's the coach.
So here's what I'll say to that, Brendan. If tackling is the fault of a coach at this level,
yep,
then it's the fault of every coach that's ever coached those players. Because they've been playing tackle football for a very long time. And if you're telling me that the head coach is responsible for guys' commitment and effort to making a tackle, then that didn't just start here at this level. It started at the college, the high school, the middle school, the church rec league. You got to blame every coach ever if you're going to say a coach is responsible for a guy not being able to make a tackle. I don't see it that way, right? You missed 15, okay. You missed 30 tackles in 2 games. I don't think I missed that many tackles in my career. It's a different game, I get it.
Yep.
But my point is, it's commitment. It's effort. You can talk in theory. A coach can talk in theory all he wants, but the players have got to go out there and do it. And I give some of them grace. It's still early. Tackling is bad all over the league for 85% of the teams.
Mm-hmm.
The good ones are not missing tackles, right? So they've just got to get it together. And that's my biggest pet peeve, because I think assignment-wise, they're doing a pretty good job. You don't see a lot of guys out of position, but it's those broken tackles are the things that drive me nuts.
Is there reason to believe, Carl, that could get fixed?
Yeah, it's easy. That's an effort thing. If you look at Micah Parsons from Arizona to San Francisco, he played like his hair was on fire, but he still missed some tackles, but he tackled much better. And tackling is about bringing your shoulder pads with you. Instead of just your arms, you bring your shoulder pads, because your whole body comes with that. And that redirects a runner if it doesn't get him to the ground. So it's correctable, yes.
Okay, so Carl, we're talking to Carl Banks, of course, Giants legend and part of the broadcast team, home of the Giants here, the Fan. Now, the circumstances were ridiculous. I mean, they were 10-point dogs for a reason, on the road 6-7 days, basically 3,000 miles away from home. Quick turnaround, tough spot, home opener for maybe the best team in football.
Sure.
Understood. I mean, that is a tough, tall task. They have to win the Seattle game. They got to beat them. Must.
Sure.
Must.
Sure.
This is the season.
Sure.
I
don't disagree with you. It's not the season, but I do agree with you. They must win this game, and it won't be easy. Seattle's not a pushover either, and they're going to think they can do certain things to the Giants, and the Giants have got to be about that smoke. But yes, this is a game they have to win.
When you see Geno on film, we obviously dissect Jones. We'll get more specifically to Danny in a moment. To me, Geno Smith is just a good quarterback at this point. What are you seeing on film?
100%. And I was his biggest critic when he wasn't doing well here in New York, and for several reasons. But I give that kid all the credit in the world. He's playing his butt off. Like, he's playing like a NFL quarterback, a top tier NFL quarterback. He's not the elite guys, but he's making great decisions with the football. He's always had great arm talent, and he's executing for his team. So I have nothing but praise for him. I criticized him when he was in that other phase of his career, and I will give him his flowers now because he is doing it the right way, and he's doing it at a pretty high level.
Looking forward to seeing him on Monday night go against Daniel Jones. What'd you think of Jones, Carl, Thursday night? And really, to me, the one shocking thing, and the Niners even talked about this after the game, Fred Warner, I think, was the one who said it, they were surprised that Jones didn't run at all. I figured with Barkley out, for the Giants to be able to be in this game and have a legit chance to win, they needed more with Jones running the football. Other than that, I thought he was okay. What'd you make of Jones' performance on Thursday night?
They offensively, they were stalled. They could not protect the quarterback. They did not run the ball effectively. They got to get better. There were some plays out there on the field that probably he could have made. There were some plays that guys out on the field could have helped him out. And the thing is, when you're in a game like this against the 49ers or that level of team, you got to say to yourselves and to your teammates, we got to make a play. When you say that, got to make a play, that means it may not be perfect, but we got to figure out how to make a play. So if the ball is high, I got to catch it. Ball is low, I got to catch it. Guy is open and I'm going to take a hit, I got to deliver that football. That's what making a play against those types of guys are, and they didn't do enough of that.
Carl, to me, and I said this to Sal the next day, it was almost counter to what the NFL is all about, doing whatever it takes to win. Like, there were points I'm watching it with no designed runs and obviously no Barkley and a lot of injuries here. I almost got the impression that the Giants were just trying to get out of San Francisco, get back healthy, don't get Jones banged up. Like, it was almost so benign that I couldn't help but think that was part of the mindset. Is that off base?
Well, that's off base. I don't think this team will ever throw in the towel. I think what you saw was the other team gets paid too. And they were legislating against a lot of what the Giants wanted to do. It's just that simple. I mean, yeah, the Giants got Jalen Hyatt open a few times down the field. Quarterback was on the run. And you see a lot of the Twitter evaluators saying, oh, he's just got to throw an anticipation throw. That's not how it works in the game. And, they just got to do a better job of protecting the quarterback. And listen, the good news is they don't have that level of team for 16 weeks or the next 14 weeks. So they'll be able to get some things on track. And listen, there are 20-something teams now that are 1-2 or 2-1. So it's only 3 teams that are 3-0. So they're okay. They just got to get it together.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Carl, just the last one here. And I can't wait for this game Monday night. I think it's going to be a telling game for the Giants this season as far as, their chances of making the postseason. It's been 3 weeks. I know it's early. They've played a couple of really good teams. You think this team is good?
The Giants team?
Yeah.
I think they have, like I said it when we were together this summer, they have more talent than they've had last year. They have to play to that level, but there are steps to it. There are no shortcuts. Just because you're better and you're good don't mean you can't do the little things, because they'll continue to haunt you. So they have talent. Good is in the results, right? So I don't want to say they're a good team. They've got good talent. They got to play to that level, but they got to do the little things to get there.
Yeah, and one of those pieces who's supposed to be showing a lot more is Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, can you need 35 seconds to do the sack dance when you finally get one? I mean, come on, dude. I mean, act like you've been here. Like, I love personality. I love individuality. That's a little much for somebody who hasn't done a damn thing up until that point. I mean, come on.
I get it. I mean, it's about results, and he'll just have to keep playing. I can't defend him. He's got to keep playing. You guys will give him grace when it's time, when you feel like he's playing up to the standards that are expected of him. But I think he's working hard, and we'll see what happens. That's all I can say.
Yep, no, I respect that. I get that. But aside from what we're saying, Carl, the film, I mean, we can look and see, 1 tackle, no tackles, 1 sack, no sack. what you're seeing on film. And I think I asked you this the other day or 2 weeks ago. I'm going to ask you again. Do you see somebody who's going to become a superstar? That's what they drafted him to be.
I do.
Wow. Okay.
I do. He's not there yet.
I got you.
He's not there yet. I think right now mentally he's somewhat blocked. I don't even think he's free physically yet. I just think, his mind is not clicking. He's too conscious of assignments. He needs to be a little more violent with his hands, and he needs to be a little reckless sometimes. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Hell, everybody else is making a mistake. You make the mistake, go sack the quarterback. If you're stuck in between dropping back into coverage and halfway to the quarterback, don't hit the brakes and go into coverage. Just go hit the quarterback.
There you go.
You got to make those mistakes 100 miles an hour. And but I think he's going to be okay. I don't think his mind is as free as it should be. And he physically is just not free.
Well, what about health-wise, Carl? I know Waller's been dealing with some hamstring issues here. Are his hands okay?
Listen, like I said, make a play.
I mean, dude.
That's all I can say is make a play.
He's their big weapon. I mean, what's wrong with those hands? Come on, Waller. I like him as a player, but my goodness, help the quarterback out. If he's not making plays, they're in trouble. Get those hands fixed. Waller needs to make some plays.
You got to be, guys with that skill set and ability, every once in a while you expect them to make a difficult one. You see it around the league every week. You saw it in your Jets game when Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Wilson made the most incredible play. That's called making a play, and I'm not comparing the two, but the mentality of, my team needs me. I need to step up, make a play if it's one to be made.
Carl, you actually mentioned the Jets, and not a lot of time on this, but I'm curious because you've been in locker rooms where this goes down, and you've seen it across the league. When a coach so aggressively defends somebody that nobody believes, I believe in Zach more than most, but most people don't. I get it. The resentment that's got to infiltrate the team at some point, that's a dangerous position for the head coach to take when most people don't see any evidence that he can play. Is that going to destroy the Jets?
Well, it depends, and I'm not there, what his messaging to the team is, because ball don't lie, right? Everybody in the locker room knows what it is. The coach may be saying one thing publicly, but to his team, he may walk into a defensive meeting room and say, look, our offense ain't playing worth the crap. I'm going to need you guys to continue to create field position for us. I'll get Zach going enough not to make a 2-yard check down when it's fourth in the game. You know what I mean? So, but I don't think that team, it depends on what their coach is saying to them internally. It's too much football left to throw out statements like that. And like I said, ball don't lie. Everybody can see it. So whatever that messaging is internally, I suspect they're going to be on the same page, because you don't want a coach to go out on a limb like that when you got a defense that's playing as hard as they are and offensive players that just want to help out, right? You hear those guys, they don't have a gripe other than, hey, I just want to help this guy out. So we'll see what happens, but I suspect that message that's public is not the same one that's behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But before we go, can we have a fight?
Yeah.
Brandon, because like Joe and Tiki did, can we just have a fight? Just say something like, I'm not a fan. Say something, and then it'll all be a big family feud, right?
I think you suck. That's what I think, Banks. I think you don't watch football. I think you're watching Michigan State basketball games from 1980 with Magic, whatever. That's what I think, Banks.
I'm cutting off my mic. I'm done.
Thank you, Carl. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Carl.
I appreciate it.
Awesome,
Carl Banks, of course. Look forward to talking to him again next weekend. It is going to be a huge game, BT.